fail to offer perfect hecatombs. They always desire obedience. There is an island out in the sea beside the coast of Egypt named Pharos. If a clear wind blows your ship, it takes all day to travel to that island. Its harbor has good anchorage, and there men draw dark water up and then launch off to sea. But I was held for 20 days by gods. No winds appeared to guide my ships across the water's back. All our supplies would have been gone, and all our hope. But then a goddess, Eidothea, pitied me, the child of Proteus, the old sea god. She met me pacing sadly, all alone. My men were off around the island, fishing with hooks as usual. Hunger pinched their bellies. She stood beside me and she spoke to me. "Stranger, are you so foolish that you choose to give up and take pleasure in your pain? There is no end in sight. You have been stuck here on this island for so long. Your men grow weak at heart." I answered her and said, "Whoever you may be, for sure a goddess, I tell you I am trapped against my will. I must have sinned against the deathless gods who live in heaven. Please explain which spirit is blocking me from going home across the teeming sea. Gods must know everything." That shining goddess answered me at once. "Stranger, I will be frank with you. A deathless old sea god haunts this place, named Proteus of Egypt, who can speak infallibly, who knows the depths of seas and serves Poseidon. They say he is the one who fathered me. If you can somehow lie in wait and catch him, he will explain how you can get back home, plotting your path where fish leap through the waters. And if you wish it, Prince, he will explain what happened in your home, both good and bad, while you were gone on this long, painful journey." Those were her words. I answered, "Tell me, please, how I can trap this ancient god so he will not see me too soon and get away. It is not easy for a man to catch a god." The goddess answered me at once. "Stranger, I will instruct you thoroughly. When the sun hits the midpoint of the sky, the old god bobs above the salty water. The breath of Zephyr hides him in dark shade. He goes to take his nap inside the caves. Around him sleep the clustering seals, the daughters of lovely Lady Brine. Their breath smells sour from gray seawater, pungent, salty depths. Select the 3 best men you have on board, and when dawn breaks, I will take all of you down to the shore and set you in a line. Let me explain the old god's tricks. He will first count the seals and walk around among them. When he has counted them and checked them all, he lies down in the middle like a shepherd among his flock of sheep. When you observe him sleeping, gather all your force and strength and hold him there despite his desperate struggles. In trying to escape, he will change shape to every animal on earth, and then water and holy fire. You must hold fast, unshaken, and press harder. Keep him down. At last, he will assume again the form in which he went to sleep, and he will speak and question you. Then, warrior, release your forceful hold on that old god, and ask him which god is angry with you, and the way to cross the fish-filled waters and go home." With that, she sank beneath the deep-sea waves. I went down to the ships upon the sand. My heart was surging in me as I walked. Arriving at the ships and at the shore, we made our meal. Then came immortal night. We went to sleep beside the water's edge. When dawn appeared, her fingers bright with flowers, I walked beside the spreading sea, along the dunes, and prayed intensely to the gods. Then I chose out my 3 most trusted men. The goddess dove down deep inside the sea and brought 4 sealskins up from under water, new flayed, to help her plot against her father. She scooped out hiding places in the sand and sat to wait. We came right up to her. She laid us in a row and put a skin on each. It would have been a dismal hideout, stinking of salt-bred seals. Who would lie down to rest beside a creature from the sea? But she brought sweet ambrosia to save us. She very kindly put it in our nostrils to take away the stench of seal. We waited all morning, apprehensively. And then, out of the sea, there rose a pod of seals. They lay along the shore. At noon, the god emerged above the waves. He went among his fatted seals and counted out their number. He counted us among the first of them, suspecting nothing. Then he lay down too. With a great shout, we pounced on him and grabbed him. The old god still remembered all his tricks, and first became a lion with a mane, then snake, then leopard, then a mighty boar, then flowing water, then a leafy tree. But we kept holding on, our hearts stood firm. At last, that ancient sorcerer grew tired, and then he asked me, "Son of Atreus, what god devised this plan with you and taught you to lurk and capture me against my will? What do you want from me?" And I replied, "Old god, why do you want to throw me off? You know I have been trapped here on this island for far too long, with no way out. My heart grows faint. So tell me, gods know everything. What do you want from me? And I replied, "Old god, why do you want to throw me off? You know I have been trapped here on this island for far too long, with no way out. My heart grows faint. So tell me, gods know everything. What do you want from me? And I replied, "Old god, why do you want to throw me off? You know I have been trapped here on this island for far too long, with no way out. My heart grows faint. So tell me, gods know everything. What spirit stops my journey, and how can I get home across the watery shoals of fish?" At once he answered me and told me this: "You should have given Zeus and other gods fine offerings to speed your journey home across the wine-dark sea. It is your fate not to go home or see the ones you love until you go again to Egypt's river, watered by Zeus, and kill 100 cows to please the deathless gods who live in heaven. Then they will let you travel where you wish." I felt heartbroken that I had to cross the misty sea and go again to Egypt, a long and bitter journey. But I answered, "Sir, I will do exactly as you say. But come now, tell me this and tell me truly. Did all the Greeks sail safely home by ship, whom Nestor and myself left there in Troy? Did any meet a dreadful death at sea, on his own ship or in familiar arms, after the war wound up?" When I said this, at once he answered me and said these words: "O son of Atreus, why ask me this? You have no need to know or learn my mind. When I have told you, you will not be long able to hold back tears. So many men were killed, and many left behind at Troy. Just 2 of all the bronze-clad captains died while traveling back home. 1 more perhaps may be alive, trapped somewhere out at sea. Ajax was drowned, his ships were sunk. Poseidon first drove him to the rocks of Girai, then rescued him from the sea. He would have lived, despite Athena's hatred, but he made a crazy boast that he survived the waves against the wishes of the gods. Poseidon heard his rash words. At once he seized his trident in mighty hands and hit the Giran rock. 1 half remained, the other, on which Ajax sat as he boasted, cracked right off and fell into the sea and carried him deep down. The boundless waves washed over him. He drank the salty brine and died. But Agamemnon survived. The goddess Hera saved his fleet. When he had almost reached the craggy mountain of Malia, a gust of wind took hold and bore him over waves where fish were jumping, across the rumbling depths to where all farms were finished, where Thyestes used to live, and now his son, Aegisthus. After that, the route was clear. The gods made all winds fair. Then joyfully, he stepped foot in his country and touched and kissed the earth of his dear home. He wept hot floods of tears from happiness. But from the lookout post, the watchman saw him. Scheming Aegisthus paid that man 2 talents of gold to watch all year, so Agamemnon could not slip past unseen or summon up his will to fight. The spy rushed off to tell the king. Aegisthus formed a plan at once. He chose the 20 best men in the land to lurk in ambush, and he told the house slaves to cook a feast. He rode out on his carriage and summoned Agamemnon, who suspected nothing. Aegisthus killed him over dinner, just as a person kills an ox at manger. All of the men who came with him were killed, and all those of Aegisthus, all were killed. His story broke my heart, and I sat down upon the sands and wept. I did not want to go on living or to see the sun. I thrashed around and wailed. When I was done, the old sea god spoke words of truth to me. "Now, son of Atreus, your endless weeping has gone on long enough. It does no good. Quickly, go home. You may still find Aegisthus alive, or else Orestes may have come and killed him. You can join his funeral." Those words made me a man again. My heart was warmed inside, despite my grief. My words took wings. I said, "I know now of those 2. But name the 3rd who may be still alive, trapped somewhere in the wide expanse of sea, or may be dead. I know the news may hurt, but still I want to hear it." And he answered, "It is Laertes' son, the Ithacan. I saw him crying, shedding floods of tears upon Calypso's island, in her chambers. She traps him there. He cannot go back home. He has no boats with oars or crew to row him across the sea's broad back to his own land. But Menelaus, it is not your fate to die in Argos. Gods will carry you off to the world's end, to Elysium. Those fields are ruled by tawny Rhadamanthus, and life is there the easiest for humans. There is no snow, no heavy storms or rain, but ocean always sends up gentle breezes of zephyr to refresh the people there. You gain these blessings as the son-in-law of Zeus through Helen." Then the old god sank beneath the waves. I went back to my ships and godlike men, and as I walked my mind swirled with my many thoughts. Beside the fleet we cooked and ate our meal. Then holy night came down. We slept beside the surging water. When early dawn appeared and touched the sky with blossom, first we launched the balanced ships into the salty sea, put up the masts and fixed the sails, and then the men embarked and sat on benches neatly in their lines. And then at once they struck the sea with oars. We soon reached Egypt's holy rain-fed river. We docked the ships and sacrificed the oxen. When I had quenched the anger of the gods, I built a mound to honor Agamemnon for his immortal fame. The gods at last gave me fair wind and sent me quickly home. But come now, stay with me here in my palace until 11 days or 12 have passed. Then I will send you off with precious gifts, 3 horses and a gleaming chariot. Also, a lovely cup so you can pour gifts to the gods and always think of me." Then, tactfully, Telemachus replied, "Please do not keep me here so long, my lord. Indeed, I would be glad to stay a year. I would not even miss my home or parents. I get such pleasure listening to you. But my poor friends are surely tired of waiting in Pylos. You have made me stay too long. And for a gift, please only give me treasure. You keep your lovely horses here. I cannot transport them all the way to Ithaca. You rule these open meadows rich in clover, white barley in wide rows, and wheat and grass. In Ithaca there are no fields or racetracks. Though it is only fit for goats, we love it more than horse pasture. Islands out at sea have no good grazing. Ours the least of all." Then Menelaus smiled and clasped his hand, and spoke to him in his loud, booming voice. "My boy, your words are proof of your good blood. I will give different gifts, just as you ask. I will give you the finest piece of treasure of all the hoard I have piled up at home, a finely crafted bowl of purest silver with gold around the rim. Hephaestus made it, and Phydamus, the king of Sidon, gave it to me when I was visiting his house as I was traveling home. You can have that." Such was their conversation. Then the guests entered the palace, bringing lamb and wine that gives one confidence. The girls, all dressed in pretty scarves, brought bread for them. So went the feasting in the house of Menelaus. Meanwhile, outside Odysseus's house, the suitors were as arrogant as usual, enjoying throwing discuses and spears out on the playing field. The 2 chief suitors were sitting there, Antinous and godlike Eurymachus. Just then Noemon, son of Phronius, approached and asked a question. "So do we know, Antinous or not, whether Telemachus is coming back from sandy Pylos? He left with my ship. I need it to cross over to the fields of Elis, where I have 12 mares with mules suckling their teats and not yet broken in. I want to take and train one." They were all astonished, since they had not thought the boy was gone to Pylos, but somewhere near, out with the sheep or pigs. Antinous said, "Tell me true, when did he go? And who went with him? Did he choose some Ithacans or slaves and laborers? It could be either. And tell me also, did he steal the ship from you by force, or did you give it to him freely because he asked?" Noemon, son of Phronius, replied, "I gave it freely. What could I do when someone so upset was asking me, a noble boy like that? It would have been ungracious to refuse. The young men who were with him were high class, the best in town except ourselves. I saw Mentor embark as captain, or perhaps not Mentor, but a god who looked like him. This puzzles me that yesterday at dawn I saw great Mentor here, though he had gone to Pylos in the ship." With that, Noemon departed for his father's house. Those leaders were furious. At once they made the suitors stop playing games and sit. Antinous spoke up with eyes bright as fire, his mind darkened with anger. "Damn! That stuck-up boy succeeded in his stupid trip. We thought he would not manage it. Telemachus has launched a ship and picked an ideal crew, despite us all. This is the start of worse. May Zeus destroy his strength before he reaches manhood. Give me a ship and 20 men, so I may watch and catch him in the strait in between Ithaca and craggy Sami. A sad end to this journey for his father." All of them praised his words, endorsed his plan, and went inside Odysseus's palace. Penelope was soon aware of all the suitors' secret plots. The houseboy Medon told her, since he had been outside the courtyard, and he had heard the plans they were devising. He rushed to tell her. As he stepped inside across the threshold, she came up and asked him, "Well, boy, why have those lordly suitors sent you? To tell godlike Odysseus's girls to stop their work and make a feast for them? I hope this is their final meal. I hope they never gather elsewhere to go courting. You suitors who come crowding here are wasting Telemachus's wealth. When you were younger, you never paid attention to your fathers who told you of Odysseus's greatness. He never spoke or acted without justice among the people. Lords are mostly biased. They favor one person and hate another, but he did not. He did no wrong at all. Now your wicked deeds and plans are clear. No gratitude for favors from the past." Then knowledgeable Medon answered her, "My queen, I wish this were the worst of it. Now they are plotting even greater ruin. May Zeus ensure it never come to pass. The suitors want to kill Telemachus with sharp bronze weapons on his journey home. He went to sandy Pylos and to Sparta for word about his father." At the news, her legs grew weak. Her heart sank. She was struck dumb for a time. Her voice blocked as her eyes filled up with tears. At last she answered him, "But why did my son go away? There was no need to go on those swift ships that gallop like horses over miles of salty water. Did he intend to lose his name as well and be unknown?" And Medon said, Perhaps some god or his own heart nudged him to go to Pylos to find out about his father, if he will come back home, or if he has already met his fate. With that, he left her. Grief wrapped around her, eating at her heart. The house was full of chairs, but she could not bear to sit upright. In her bedroom doorway, collapsing on the floor, she wept and cried. Around her, all her women, young and old, were whimpering. Voice thick with tears, she sobbed. "Friends, listen. Zeus has cursed me more than all the women in my family. Already I lost my noble, lion-hearted husband, most talented and brave of all the Greeks, whose fame is spread through Greece. And now the winds have taken my dear son, and no one told me that he was setting out. Shame on you all. You knew that he was leaving in that ship. Not one of you came here to wake me up. If only I had known about his journey, he would have stayed, no matter how he wanted to leave, or else have left me dead right here. Now call old Dolius, my gardener, the slave who cares for all my trees. My father gave him to me when I came here. Tell him to hurry off and sit beside Laertes and tell him everything. He may decide to go in tears to plead with those who want to kill godlike Odysseus' son, his grandson." Then the loyal Eurycleia said, "Lady, sweetheart, even if you take a sword and kill me, I will tell the truth. I knew all this. I gave him what he asked for, bread and sweet wine. He made me swear an oath not to inform you till 12 days had passed, or till you heard about it and you missed him, so that you would not cry and spoil your beauty. Now have a bath, get changed into clean clothes, go with your slave girls upstairs to your room. Pray to Athena, child of Zeus the king. She may save him from death. And do not bother poor old Laertes, he has pain enough. I do not think the blessed gods despise this family. I trust that there will always be one to rule this house and rich estate." This soothed Penelope. She dried her tears, and took her bath and got dressed in clean clothes, then went up to her bedroom with her girls. She put some barley on a tray and prayed. "Hear me, Athena, tireless child of Zeus. If my quick-minded husband ever gave you fat thighs of beef or lamb here in our halls, remember now and save the son I love. Protect him from the abuses of those suitors." She wailed aloud. The goddess heard her prayer. The suitors made a racket that resounded all through the palace shadows. They were boasting. "This queen whom all of us have come here courting is ready now to marry one of us, and does not even know her son will die." They spoke not knowing how things really stood. Antinous declared to them, "My lords, you have to stop this bragging. Quiet down, or those inside will hear it. Now get up in silence. We must go and follow through the plan we all agreed on in our hearts." With that, he picked the 20 strongest men. They went down to the seashore. First of all, they launched the swift black ship in deep salt water, set up the mast and raised the sails and fit the oars in proper order in the straps of leather, then spread out the bright white sails. With confidence, their slaves dealt out the weapons. They moored high up the stream and disembarked. They ate there while they waited for the evening. Penelope lay upstairs in her bedroom, refusing food and drink, consuming nothing. She wondered if her fine son would escape from death or be brought down by those proud suitors. Her mind was like a lion caught by humans when they are clustering round him in a circle, trying to trap him. So sweet drowsiness subdued her, and she slept, her limbs relaxed. Athena, bright-eyed goddess, had a plan. She made a phantom looking like a woman, Euphtheme, child of great Icarius, the wife of Eumelus who lived in Pherae. She sent it to Odysseus' house to make Penelope feel less distressed and stop her tears of grief. It traveled through the latch's thong, and in her bedroom stood above her head and asked, "Penelope, are you asleep? And are you still upset? The gods who live at ease have no desire for you to weep or worry. No, your son is coming home. He has not wronged the gods." Intelligent Penelope, still sleeping sweetly inside the gates of dreams, replied, "Sister, why have you come? Your house is far, and you have never visited before. You tell me to stop grieving and not feel the many pains that prickle at my heart. But long ago, I lost my lion-hearted husband, a man more talented than any, famous throughout all Greece. Now my dear son has sailed off in a ship, though he knows nothing of hardship in the world. He is a child. I worry for him more than for his father. I shudder, I am scared of what may happen, at sea or in the country that he went to. He has so many enemies. They plan to murder him before he reaches home." The misty phantom answered her, "Have courage. Let not your heart be troubled or afraid. He has a goddess as his guide, Athena, a helper many men have prayed to have. She has great power. Pitying your grief, she sent me here to tell you all of this." Careful Penelope replied, "If you are actually a god, with news from gods, tell me about my husband too, poor man. Tell if he is alive and sees the sun, or dead already in the house of Hades." The spirit said, "I cannot tell you whether he is alive or dead. It is not good to speak of things intangible as wind." With that, the phantom floated through the air into the breeze. And then Penelope woke up from sleep, and she was glad at heart, because she dreamed so clearly in the night. The suitors got on board and sailed across the water, set on murdering the boy. There is a rocky island out at sea in between Ithaca and craggy Sami, called Asteris. Quite small, but with a harbor to shelter ships, and there they lurked in ambush. Book 5. From the Goddess to the Storm. Then Dawn rose up from bed with Lord Tithonus to bring the light to deathless gods and mortals. The gods sat down for counsel with the great Thunderlord Zeus. Athena was concerned about Odysseus's many troubles, trapped by the nymph Calypso in her house. "Father, and all immortal gods," she said, "no longer let a sceptered king be kind or gentle or pay heed to right and wrong. Let every king be cruel, his acts unjust. Odysseus ruled gently like a father, but no one even thinks about him now. The wretched man is stranded on an island. Calypso forces him to stay with her. He cannot make his way back to his country. He has no ships, no oars, and no companions to help him sail across the wide-backed sea. His son has gone for news of his lost father in sandy Pylos and in splendid Sparta. They plot to kill the boy when he returns." Smiling at her, Lord Zeus, who heaps the clouds, replied, "Oh, daughter, what a thing to say! Did you not plan all this yourself so that Odysseus could come home and take revenge upon those suitors? Now use all your skill. Ensure Telemachus comes safely home, and that the suitors fail and sail away." Then turning to his son, he said, "Dear Hermes, you are my messenger. Go tell the goddess our fixed intention, that Odysseus must go back home. He has endured enough. Without a god or human as his guide, he will drift miserably for 20 days upon a makeshift raft, and then arrive at fertile Scheria. The magical Phaeacians will respect him like a god, and send him in a ship to his dear homeland, with gifts of bronze and heaps of gold and clothing, more than he would have brought with him from Troy if he had come directly, with his share of plunder. It is granted him to see the ones he loves, beneath his own high roof, in his own country." Hermes heard these words. At once he fastened on his feet the sandals of everlasting gold with which he flies on breath of air across the sea and land. He seized the wand he uses to enchant men's eyes to sleep or wake as he desires, and flew. The god flashed bright in all his power. He touched Pieria, then from the sky he plunged into the sea and swooped between the waves, just like a seagull catching fish.